people that are like us are stuck inside while this is occurring. So we still have a chance to see this later on because I'm very interested in seeing this.
Yeah, and if you are going to be looking at the sun, make sure to not look at the sun directly. Even though it is being partially blocked, it is still just as strong. So if you're viewing it, there's a couple different ways to view it. One of them, in fact, is to let a tree do the blocking for you, so you're not looking directly into the sun.
And lucky for us, there's a lot of trees in Florida, so that's pretty easy to do. And another one is you just simply cut a hole in a box, and that projects the light away from your eye. So it's just very important to not stare directly into the sun because that could lead to temporary or permanent eye damage.
Yeah, so make sure you are taking the protective measures, but enjoying the rare solar eclipse, as the next one will not be occurring for another 3 years. But next time it comes back, it will be more dramatic and it will be extremely rare.
I know, and that's in 2017. We'll already have our own lives, graduating college, so that's crazy.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to hand this on over to Matt for more of what's in stake for this show.
All right, thank you, Paxton. Thank you, Ian. We've got another beautiful day across Tallahassee. We've seen pretty much a boring weather week, if you want to call it that, here across the Big Bend region. Everything's just been beautiful outside. Right now, as you walk out there for maybe some evening activities or some homework on Landis, whatever you got going on tonight, it's 77 degrees in Tallahassee, 73 in Monticello, and across the board, we're about the same. We got a little bit warm spot here, 78 in Wilma. The satellite and radar look like this, really nothing there. We haven't seen anything in a few days at all. So we've just been absolutely clear and absolutely beautiful here across Tallahassee. So nothing on the radar to speak about, and now we're getting into tonight. Tonight looks like this, 49 degrees. It's going to be another chilling night like we saw last night, and calm winds as well. And then here's the weather headlines we got coming up in the rest of the show. Chilly overnight lows once again, and a beautiful weekend to just get outside. So get out there, and it's going to be another great sunny sky weekend. So now, Paxton, Ian, what else do you have to tell us?
Well, unfortunately for the Northeast, they're dealing with their second nor'easter of the season, bringing a lot of rain and a lot of high winds.
Yes, unfortunately so. And along with all this rain and wind is coastal flooding, and a lot of cars are getting stuck in these roadways with all the water surging in, and it's very important for you guys to turn around and don't drown, and we cannot stress that enough, especially here in Florida as well.
Exactly. So whenever you're dealing with flooding to this measure or dealing with high winds that could be knocking down trees, you have to take precautions when driving. So they're dealing with this, and apparently 4,000 people are left without power right now. So it's definitely a strong system that's packing a punch and bringing unfortunate conditions for areas there.
Besides those conditions being unfortunate, we do have some fortunate news, and that is that no injuries have been reported. But lucky for us here in Florida, it is very clear for us. We don't have to worry about any of this nor'easter weather in the Panhandle region of Florida right now. But I want to take this on out to the wall for you guys so I can give you a better look at all of this. So as you can see from the radar, it's nice and clear for us. Nothing going on. We have some clouds out in the northwest of us and some clouds in the southern region of Florida. And this is due to the nor'easter, and this is due to a front that will be coming into our area soon, but that's going to be bringing a lot of relief for us in drier weather. Today's high was 77 degrees. On average, we're 80. So we are below average right now due to the passage of a front that did come through yesterday morning, and a lot of people did not realize that at all because it was very dry. No significant weather was around that front. Currently, it is 75 in Tallahassee, so our temperatures are just starting to drop off again, and they will be continuing to drop off going into the night, and we will be in the 40s for tonight as well. So make sure you have your jackets with you or your sweatshirts because it will be nice and cool and a little chilly. Again, there is nothing going on the radar. Nice and clear. Fantastic to go outside, have fun in the sun, go to Landis, go study. And Futurecast is showing that it is pleasant. And we do have this cute little high pressure system coming from the north into our region, bringing in lots of sun, pleasant weather, and drier weather as well for us. And as this continues to come, again, drier weather, so you don't have to worry about those rain chances again. For tonight, it's going to be 49 degrees. It's going to be chilly. The winds are going to be calm, and it's just going to be it's going to be nice to sleep with your windows open as well, since we can't really do that often with this weather that we have been having. Tonight, or for tomorrow rather, it's going to be 79 degrees. We are still not in the 80s, which is great. It's going to be sunny, still a calm day. It's going to be sunny for quite some time. There's not many chances when it's like this, and there's not many ways you could say it's going to be sunny. So we could say there's a lack in clouds or something like that. But go outside, enjoy your day, have fun with all of that. And for our 7-day, again, tomorrow it's going to be 79, and we have a low of 49, which we'll be getting to in the morning. And then we have all these suns. And as you look for Thursday, we have that 20% chance of rain. So that's the first time we have rain drifting back into our forecast. And then you're going to have your umbrellas. But even though it's still just a 20% chance. And you can see all these lows. They are low as well, which is great for us. I'm going to step away so you guys can look at all these beautiful temperatures and the beautiful suns. But I'm going to hand this on over to Ian for Around the Southeast.
Thank you, Paxton. Yeah, we have a bunch of great weather really for this whole week. You can see much of the Southeast is dealing with pleasant temperatures. For Montgomery, 66 and Tupelo. So great temperatures for much of the Southeast as we've been getting a nice high pressure ridge that is gave us great weather. Really, it's going to continue on into the next week as we have high pressure system that is dominating as it will continue on, bringing us great temperatures for the rest of the week. Currently outside, 75 in Tallahassee. You can see 73 in Montgomery. Lots of sun is all you see. Sun, a little bit cloudier conditions in South Florida as they are dealing with the effects of that nor'easter tailing all the way down into southern Florida. So definitely dealing with unfortunate weather in the south, but for much of the southeast, very dry conditions. We have a weak dry front, cold front, whatever you want to call it, that's moving on through. Won't be bringing any precipitation into our area. Might be dipping our temperatures down just a tad bit, but for the most part, temperatures will persist and be cool and pleasant conditions for going into the week. Here is the water vapor. This shows you that story. We have that northeaster that is bringing all this dry air. You can see it's pushed across much of the south and it's moving across Florida. You can see all this that clear line down there. That's the difference between the moisture from the cold front and the dry air behind it. So they're getting a lot wetter conditions for the southeast. And here we have some maybe a little more muggier conditions moving in the afternoon, so our temperatures might be a little bit higher up at night. But for the lows for the next week, it's going to be a bit on the cold side, and that will continue. Futurecast shows that we are going to have drier conditions persisting. As I move to the side here, you can see really the only moisture in our forecast is going to stay south of us and really continuing on into the weekend. Great conditions for us as we'll be dealing with no real rain impact for the next week. Tonight's forecast shows those cool temperatures, 44 in Tallahassee, we have 45 in Montgomery, so 40s for much of the southeast. So cool night is expected ahead, and a little bit warmer temperatures down in Florida as they are dealing with some of the muggier conditions from that cold front. But for the most part, cooler conditions for much of the southeast will continue into the night. And for tomorrow's forecast, you can see yet again, sun is expected, 80 degrees in Tallahassee, 77 in Montgomery, 77 New Orleans. So great conditions for much of the southeast as this will continue on into the week as we are dealing with these great high pleasant temperatures and cool conditions. So no real complaint for our forecast, but we're going to continuing on to deal with great weather really as it will be moving on to the week. You can see South Florida is going to unfortunately deal with the rain, but for much of the area in the southeast, it should be dry for the next week as we move on through. So great weather for us expected to continue on into the week, and this will continue on for here, but as we move on into other areas of the nation, unfortunately, are dealing with less stellar weather for them there as they have unfortunate conditions in Washington State, right, Paxton?
Yes, unfortunately so. And Washington actually had a tornado touchdown today, and that's very rare for them over there.
Yeah, you don't hear that too often. You hear tornadoes in much of the Midwest, but really for the western Pacific coast, they don't deal with that type of weather a whole lot.
No, they don't. And it touched down this afternoon near an elementary school. And it just took off the roof of that in a nearby appliance store, but otherwise, no other damage has been reported.
Well, fortunately, no injuries have happened with this, which is all you can really ask for in conditions like this. But that's weather sometimes. It can be completely unexpected and rare and bring unfortunate conditions for areas. And that's what just you have something you have to deal with and expect.
Yeah. And in this area, only 3 tornadoes have been reported since 1950. So that could just show you how rare this actually is and how this one just appeared today.
Yeah, I mean, 3 in the last 50 years, that's an incredible statistic. But we're going to take it off to the wall with Matthew with more.
All right, guys, thank you very much. We're going to take a look around the country now because there's a lot of weather features to take a look at that could be impacting us here locally, or at least helping our temperatures stay just as cool. So temperatures around the nation right now, we are sitting down around the 70s in our area, and then the rest of the country, you've got some upper 70s, and then Seattle, you're the cool spot in 56. And a lot of these temperatures are actually a bit seasonably warm for this time of year. We start to see some snowfall in the mountains, as well as some of those freezing temperatures approaching in some areas as well. Rest of the country, here's our 24-hour temperature change. The reds indicate an increase in temperature, and the blues indicate a decrease in temperature. So down here in Tallahassee, we're just seeing a little bit of a decrease here, but not anything too significant. And then in parts west of our area, we're seeing a little bit of a decrease as well. But the satellite and radar across the country, here's where we get to talk about a few of those weather features. Right here is this big cold front draped across the nation right now. This isn't going to impact us at all. It's going to be a dry front in our area, but just to help reinforce that cool temperatures. And then right up here in the northeast is this nor'easter that they were talking about at the desk earlier. So let's go ahead and take a look at the nor'easter just a little bit closer. It was impacting areas of the Northeast and New England. They saw some flood advisories posted, and there are still some flood advisories posted, and some beach erosion also occurred up there as well. Zooming in just a little bit more into the Hudson Valley just a little bit, we see these really deep colors here on the radar indicating quite a bit of rain, but they've been in drought-like conditions up there, so they need this rain just a little bit. But this does prepare us for the possibility of those snowfall that we're going to be seeing later on in the winter season. So now we're moving out to the Midwest here. This is our front passing through Wisconsin now, bringing them just a little bit of rain, making it for a bit of a rainy day out there. Watches and warnings across the nation. We've got a bit of a frost advisory here in North Carolina, and then those flood watches posted for the New England area as well. Airport delays, there's really nothing too much to speak about across the country except for in JFK here in New York City. You are seeing some of that rainfall, as well as it's a very busy airport, so we see a lot of delays there quite a bit often. Tonight's forecast looks like this. We got those temperatures are dipping down once again into the 40s, and down here in Tallahassee, we're seeing the 40s as well. So if you like the winter weather like I do, then go ahead and maybe crack those windows a little bit, and you'll be feeling extra cool. Grab that extra blanket out there too. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to be rebounding nicely back up into the 80s. It's going to be perfectly clear, sunny skies as well, and it's going to be just another beautiful day here across Tallahassee. So now, Allie, what do we got going on in our area?
Well, Matt, our area looks really nice. I know I had a great day today. There was plenty of sunshine and 75 degrees for our current temperature. It feels great outside. And look at that, our dew point is also at 42, giving us a humidity of 31%. And that is just fantastic. I know everyone's having great hair days, and just not having that moisture in the air just makes everyone that much happier. So we had a good day here in Tallahassee. For our current temperatures right now, 75 here in Tallahassee, and it's pretty much the mid-70s for this whole region. We can see 75 down there in St. Mark, 75 up in Bainbridge, and just slightly cooler at 73 down there in Carabel. So we are having some nice fall temperatures finally. I know we all are loving that. Our dew points, though, 42 in Tallahassee, 45 in St. Mark's, 50 down there in Carabel. So these are fairly low. This is a measure of how much moisture we have in the air. So when these are lower and farther from our temperatures, that means we have less moisture and we are having some great hair days. And our satellite can kind of show that. I know we have been talking about that nor'easter, and you can see that if you look slightly down there towards the south part of Florida, that moisture is associated with that nor'easter. But it's all clear here in Tallahassee, giving us a great day and a great weekend in store. This is that dry front that is headed our way, but nothing to speak of right now. We are still going to have some sunshine for tomorrow. Our futurecast, like I said, plenty of sunshine, and we can see this high pressure moving into our area, but of course, pleasant. That is a word we all love to hear, especially when it comes to the weather. So we are going to have a great weekend, and we'll just set this into motion, and we can, we'll move on to our tonight's forecast. Tonight's forecast, 49 here in Tallahassee. Slightly chilly. I mean, 40s here already. I wasn't expecting to see that, but I know if you have any outdoor activities, it will be a nice night for that. Maybe slightly chilly, so if you do get cold, don't forget that sweatshirt. You will definitely need it. I know I will. So 49 in Tallahassee, 48 in St. Mark's, and slightly cooler, or slightly warmer towards the coast at 52 in Carabel and 54 in Apalachicola. And we will move on to tomorrow's forecast. Nice and sunny. 79 in Tallahassee, 79 in St. Mark's. Pretty much the same story. We're trying to get up to that 80 mark, but who knows? It'll be close. We're hoping for 79 here in Tallahassee. Nice, calm, sunny day. Definitely get outside and enjoy it because it's lovely. Our day planner tomorrow, chilly morning, 49 degrees. Then as the sun comes up, we'll get up to 70, and we'll continue to rise to 79 by 5 o'clock. Sunny, sunny, sunny. That is the story. So get outside and enjoy it. It will be beautiful. And for our 7-day forecast, like we've been talking about, here's all of that sunshine. Highs are fairly consistent, 79, 80, and we will start to get a little bit higher as the beginning of the work week, and the mornings will be chilly though, so don't forget that jacket as you head to work. But overall, plenty of sunshine in store for the next work week. And for now, we're going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks a lot, Allie. Well, Matt, you know, was it 9 years ago, Hurricane Wilma formed and went up and hit Florida. And I understand you're from South Florida where it hit, correct?
Yep, I am from South Florida. Hurricane Wilma was one of the most memorable storms that I had down there. We were without power for 2 weeks and without water for 3 days. I know people had it out without power for a lot longer, too.
That's not good at all, but you believe it, at the highest strength that Wilma had, it got 185-mile-per-hour winds.
Yep, it was one of the strongest storms on record in the Atlantic hurricane season.
And the craziest thing is that it formed in the Caribbean, not the Atlantic, and it just started in the Caribbean and came up, and it still got that strong at some point.
It went through what we call rapid intensification before it hit Cozumel, Mexico, and went up to a Category 5 hurricane with one of the lowest pressures that we've ever measured.
That's right. It was under 900, which is absolutely insane for a hurricane. Well, for now, we're going to head it off to Allie again with Around Florida. How's Florida looking, Allie?
Well, Florida is looking pretty good if you're in Tallahassee, but not so great if you're down there in the Keys. Like I said, most of Florida is nice and clear, not too much going on, not too much even in the way of clouds. However, if you look down towards the south, that's where all the moisture is, that's where all the clouds are. So Key West is definitely feeling that moisture and feeling the rain as of right now. Our current temperatures though in Tallahassee, 75, pretty pleasant outside, just slightly warmer as we go a little bit more south, 76 in Orlando, 81 in Tampa, and then you can see those clouds down there in West Palm and Miami as they get just a tad bit higher at 78 and 76. So they are feeling the rain right now and feeling that moisture. Our dew points though, you can see this drastic difference, which is pretty cool to look at. So you can see 42 up here in Tallahassee, we're feeling nice and dry, and then as we go south, it gets a little bit higher, so we have 58 in Orlando. They're starting to feel a little bit more moisture, and then here's when the big numbers come down there in Miami at 71 and 75 in Key West, and that is just because they are seeing all those clouds right now and that rain associated with that front. And this is my favorite graphic of the night, actually, because you can clearly see this water vapor in our dry air. So this orange color represents our dry air, and you can just see it sweeping across the state. It passed us earlier, which is why we had such a great dry day, and it's going to make its way down towards the south, but then you can see that green just at the very bottom of the screen, and that is the moisture, and that is the rain that they're feeling in the Keys right now. For our radar, though, it's actually pretty boring here in Tallahassee, not too much to speak of because we had such a beautiful day. Big Bend region, same story, nice and clear. Moving down just a little bit more, and guess what? It's clear in Tampa and Orlando as well, so it's a great day for Disney. If you are trying to make some weekend plans, that's a great spot to go to. And then we'll go down one more time, and that's where all the stories are. That's where all the rain is. Like I said, Key West is definitely feeling it, Miami as well. So that is associated with that nor'easter that extends all the way up. So it's a very big system, and we're feeling it all the way down there in Key West. Our futurecast, this is the moisture. Those are the rain that we keep talking about, and it's just sitting down there. We're not going to be feeling it here in Tallahassee, but that is the front as it moves out of the area in the next couple of days. For tonight's forecast, though, pretty cool up here in Tallahassee. We're saying 44 degrees, 48 in Jacksonville, so it is going to be a chilly night. However, Tampa and Orlando, pretty nice, pretty comfortable at 62 and 63. And of course, with all of that moisture, those temperatures are staying high towards South Florida at 75 in Miami. And for tomorrow, again, I know you guys are looking forward to the weekend. So we have some sunshine up here in the Panhandle up in North Florida, but unfortunately, those clouds will stick around Miami and Key West with 84 and 85 degrees. But for now, we are going to hand it over to Daniel.
That's right. We have a tropical update for you, and thankfully, this thing got even weaker, which is fantastic news for us. It is now less than a tropical depression, so we just call it remnants of the tropical depression. Right here, you can see that it's moving real slowly, and it's not even at Cuba at the center of it, and that means that it's probably not going to shoot out in the Atlantic and come back up into the Gulf like we were expecting earlier. And here's what the cloud cover is like for right there. You can see Cuba's getting the real heavy of that, and like Allie was talking about earlier, Key West is getting some rain from that, but a lot of that rain is associated with that front that is passed and connected with this depression. And for the satellite imagery, you can see that front that passed here connected with this nor'easter, which is the second one of the season. And we also have that, that system hanging right down there by Cuba. So all this is just kind of one big connected mess, but thankfully it's all in the Atlantic for us. And well, the east is going to get some good surf out of it. We'll get to that in just a minute. Right now, we're looking at the sea surface temperatures. You can see these have really gone down. We're in the lower 80s. About a month ago, we were just getting below 90, and you can see right here 81 in Tallahassee, 82 in the middle of the Gulf, which means if we do have another storm that comes in, it will not get very strong because the warmer the water is, the stronger the storm is. So in those hot summer months, you know, August, September, those when you're going to see the strongest storms, and it's not right now, thankfully. Well, for hurricane season so far, you see this is probably the last one we had was Gonzalo. I don't think we're going to see Hannah because of those temperatures, and you saw that that tropical depression is already remnants because of the water temperature. Current conditions in Tallahassee, we're at 75 degrees. It's cloudy. Everywhere else around us is pretty sunny, though. You see Gainesville 74 and sunny. Panama City just to our west is sunny over there, too. Satellite and radar, though, not really a lot going on here, except you see that front just up here is going to be coming through a little bit later. We're not going to have any rain from that. It will bring some drier air, though, later, and you will see that in the next week or so. And for our relative humidity, you can see that this is how dry it is outside. We're at 31% humidity, which is fantastic. So it's not so humid, so girls aren't freaking out about their hair getting all frizzy, you know, because that's no fun. And everyone's seeing that. You see Pensacola, the low end there, at 28. So that's really, really nice for them there. Moving on, though, to our beach forecast, we're about 2 to 3 feet here in Tallahassee, expected to persist for a few more days, but it is a little blown out. You see wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, so it's just kind of dumpy waves right now, nothing too big there. Well, if this tropical depression gets a little bit stronger, comes back into the Gulf, they're predicting Pensacola can see 9 to 14 feet over there for their surf, and the wind's not too strong, so you have about a day over there before it gets too messy and you won't be able to go surfing there. And for the East Coast, they're actually seeing 2 to 4 for the next week or so, which is all good news. And we are going to take a quick look at tomorrow's forecast before we head off and talk about this meteor shower, Matt. Apparently, we've had one going on for the past couple days now, and it's looking pretty good, isn't it?
That's right. We saw this at 4 a.m. last night. We saw this meteor shower over parts of North America, and we actually have this image here from courtesy of Weather Underground, and you can really see the streaks of meteors coming into view on that sky.
Yeah, I mean, that looks really great. Hey, Ian, how you doing? You can see this nice stars coming through, so you need to get in a really dark area if you really want to appreciate this meteor shower. Absolutely. You can see, like, there's a couple streaks there, and I heard they're about, like, every 20 minutes or so you'll see a good bit of them, correct?
Yeah, typically you don't see them very often, but when you do, they're really magnificent to see.
Yeah, it sounds like we'll be sure to check that out. And
But
yeah.
I actually saw a meteor shower over this past summer. I went out on the beach, and it was my first meteor shower, so you can see them sometimes here from Florida, even though it's kind of hard to do at times.
Yeah, that's great. Well, for now, we're going to take one last look around the local with Ian.
Hey, thank you, Daniel. You know, I appeared a little bit early there, but whatever. Today's almanac showed that temperatures were at 77 degrees for our high, which is a very pleasant afternoon. We started out the day off a little bit cool in the 43 degrees, but we quickly warmed up, but didn't get too high. 77 degrees. It was a pleasant day outside. Low humidity levels definitely kept us feeling comfortable outside, and it was really great weather. Current weather outside shows at 75 degrees in Tallahassee. We have 75 in St. Mark's, 77 in Quincy. Really pleasant conditions all around as we continue with these similar conditions with that high pressure system that has definitely kept us cool and kept us dry for much of this week. Current dew points show that dryness. Dew points are really an indication of how muggy it is, and you can see all around 39 Perry, 50 Monticello, 38 Valdosta. Those dew points are well below 70, which means it's very, very comfortable outside. Great hair weather for the girls and really pleasant conditions. So perfect conditions to enjoy the night out. Current winds are rather on the mild side, 6 in Tallahassee, you see 5 in Bainbridge, coming from the north. So this is definitely an indicator that we're going to have some cool temperatures tonight as we have those land breezes bringing us with definitely cool conditions. Satellite and radar shows not a whole lot to see. You have an incoming weak cold front that's going to be moving on through the area tomorrow, which really won't make a huge impact on our weather here. Maybe we bring a little bit more moisture, so the humidity levels are a little bit higher, but still it's going to be comfortable outside, maybe dipping into the 80s. But for the most part, great weather is expected onto later on into the weekend and next week. Tonight's forecast shows 49 degrees. Like I said, it was going to be a cool night with chilly and calm winds. And whenever you have those calm winds, those temperatures are going to be dipping. So it's going to be a nice cold night for tonight. So with those calm winds, you're going to be feeling it. So if you're outside, really pleasant conditions, but you might want to wear a jacket if you're going to be doing that. Friday's forecast shows a chilly morning at 49 degrees, so we're starting out the morning tomorrow cool again with that quick warm-up, 70 degrees. You can see we're going to get right back up there as we start to warm up. 79 degrees with sunny skies on Friday, so really fantastic conditions tomorrow. And this is what we can expect going on into the week as we have really dry conditions. We've had a high-pressure system that has controlled most of the weather in the area, but that will continue on to persist into the next week. We really don't see a very good chance for rain until later on in the week. Looking into the 7-day forecast, you can see sunny conditions persist. 79 degrees is our high tomorrow, but as you go into the weekend, maybe a little bit of a warm up with that kind of odd dry front moving on through, bringing our humidity levels up a little bit higher. You can see 83 degrees is expected on Sunday, 82 on Monday, and as we move on into the week, really there's not a whole lot of rain is expected. Later in the week, we can't really expect those rain chances to change a whole lot, but 20% chance on Thursday. But for the most part, great conditions for the rest of the week. 83 and 80s into the weekend. So if you have any plans for the weekend, really great conditions to enjoy having if you have any plans for that there. But hopefully you will enjoy your weekend, and we're going to send it back to the desk with more to close out the show.
All right, thank you, Ian. And speaking of plans, the circus is in town, and we've got the circus shows starting tomorrow, the Halloween series.
That's right. We have Allie in it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's going to be dressed up as a zombie tomorrow, so that's going to be real scary.
Yeah, you got to get out there and see it. Bring the kids, well, bring families and kids to come see this awesome show because it's going to be an awesome Halloween-themed circus show. But the weather, it's looking beautiful out there. And have you been outside today? It's awesome.
Well, you know, being outside during a day is really tough for us to do in the studio, but sometimes we do get out there. And it's going to look, you know how the past week's been so nice?
Yeah.
The next week's supposed to be that nice too, which is really great news.
That is fantastic. We see a great trend here. The cool temperatures sticking around for quite some time here, and feeling nice and seasonal, that's for sure.
Yeah. One thing I noticed on the 7-day when it came up is that we had we're at 49 for a low, and then as we get closer to the week, it's going to get a little more humid, and the low's going to be in the low 60s. So we can expect maybe some storms come in, not by next Thursday, but later on.
Yep, and if you want to check us out, we are on Facebook. Like us on Facebook at FSU Weather, on Twitter as well. If you ever want to catch any of our shows, we are on live stream as well. We're also on YouTube, and now we have an Instagram. So if you got awesome weather pictures, go ahead and send them in to us, and maybe we'll put them on air or put them on Instagram as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely put them on air if you guys have some great pictures for us, that's for sure.
Yep, but for now, I'm student meteorologist Matthew Reagan.
And I'm Daniel McFarland. Everyone have a great night.
Have a great day.
Throw papers around.